Yo, sup? Oh, of course, the neediest of all the sausages is now looking at me like, Mom, can I come and sit on the couch with you? You can. Do you want to come up? Come on and bubble it. Wee, come here, Scooch. Oh, what a treat. Hello. You're stinky. Is it bath time today? I think so. Just wait for y'all. We're telling your followers that you've started a live. How exciting. Say hello. Tell me you're here. Don't be a voyeur all your life. Get involved in the conversation, bitches. I even made a note and everything. I know. Who do I think I am? Suddenly getting all professional on your asses. Do you know what? Whilst we're waiting to begin today's sermon, which I will endeavour to keep relatively brief and to the point, but you know, at the end of the day, this is free content with my delightful face and energy, and you know, the truth bombs galore. So buckle up and make the most of it. Am I right? But yeah, I actually have something very specific that I want to share with you today when we get into the main bulk, the juiciness of the content. But before that, I'm so grateful for being a manifesting generator. And if you're not into human design, then you can go and check that out. Like, just Google it. Do you know what I mean? That's what Google's for, right? And the way that, now that I honour my energy flow and the way that things naturally kind of want to ebb and flow in my life, and the way that I can do about 800 things at once, and it might look like chaos to somebody else. And an example of this might be, you know, I'll have some dishes soaking, I'll have some laundry on the go, I'll be hanging out another lot of laundry, some's in the tumble dryer, but I'm also watering the plants and the garden and folding laundry, and like, you know, like I'm doing many things at once. And if anyone was to come in the middle of me doing my thing, they'd be like, what the fuck is happening here? What is happening here? And but the fact is, that's just how I roll. Like yesterday I was like, I did a live stream, I then did a little reel of me dancing, I then created 2 tapping reels ready to go out over the next few days, one of which went live this morning. If you want to go watch that, it's Tapping for Frustration, it's really good. Obviously wait until the end of this live stream because you want to be here for the gold nugs I'm about to drop on your ass. But you know, so within a very short space of time I did a live stream, created 4 reels, did some laundry, you know, I was making soup and pasta dish at the same time, having a dance party and just like having a fucking great time. I just thought if anyone came in right now, they'd be like, are you having a breakdown? Like, you need to like focus and you need to like chill the fuck out and do one thing at a time. But that's so boring. And my life gets to feel like I'm constantly, you know, on the playground and having fun. And when I rest, you know, but like if you want to be doing 5 things at once, do 5 things at once. I just think I was thinking to myself yesterday, I reckon there's a lot of people who've been misdiagnosed with like ADHD, who, hey Andre, nice to see you. Are you still in Jersey? I feel like you're away somewhere. All your stories, I feel like you're somewhere exotic. Not that Jersey isn't exotic, obviously. We've got palm trees. What are you talking about? We've got beaches and shit. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people, as she talks about ADHD, she has 5 different conversations. But I feel like a lot of people maybe got misdiagnosed with things, but they were actually just manifesting generators who hadn't fully owned the fact that their genius isn't doing many, many things at the same time. And not feeling that they need their path to be linear like everybody else. And, oh, you're in Switzerland. Oh, you lucky bugger. Well, see you in the boxing ring again soon for the face punching. For the punching of the faces. So I wanted to just talk to you today. That was, my little pre-riff whilst people start jumping on. So do say hello as you join. I like these things to be a conversation, This is not like a masterclass. It's how everyone's just putting the fact that they jump on and do a live stream and suddenly it's a masterclass now. This is a masterclass in how to be a manifesting generator just by watching me live. I am a fucking masterclass, damn it. My life is a masterclass. Oh, hey, Jen. Nice to see you. So we did kind of get to have a drink together this weekend. Cheers. If you're having coffee right now. Clink. Okay, so the thing that I wrote down today, as I was on my run this morning, I got up at 5:30 this morning. My alarm went off and almost gave me a heart attack. So it was so fucking loud. It was like we're in the war or something, fucking siren going off. I was like, I'm awake. And then I was out running by 6:15 because let's face it, if this is not caffeinated, it ain't fucking running anywhere. It's not doing. This doesn't do much without caffeine, and I'm fine with that. It's a delightful ritual that I take great pleasure in every single day. So I did my coffee ritual, shall we say. And then I headed out for my run. Now, my run is programmed. I do one a week, and my trainer programs it for me. So it's just on my spreadsheet, and every week I go and I do as I'm told. I know, can you even imagine me doing as I'm told? Sometimes I'm subservient. If I know that it is going to get me to my goals and someone else is an expert, then I will listen to the shit they tell me. I'm not going to pay someone and they're not fucking listen to what they tell me to do, right? So I went to my run, and as I was running, I had this thought about how I used to feel about my fitness and my body, self-love, like self-love in terms of like physical self-love, like body confidence, that kind of stuff. And I've spoken before about some of the horrible things I used to say in my own head to myself about my body and how I used to refer to myself. And then about 3 years ago, I went on a trip to Bali with Dane Thomas of The Spiral. And it was a wealth retreat. However, one of the things that I really wanted to work on, along with my money stuff and my wealth journey, was my body. And at the beginning of the ceremony, at the beginning of the week, the retreat, we had to stand up and in front of everybody say what it was that we were claiming and what it was that we were leaving behind at the end of this week. And one of the things that I said was, I get a goosebump even thinking about it, because it was such a huge turning point for me. One of the things that I said, along with all the money stuff and, wanting to write a book, which obviously I did, Hot Mess to Success, international bestseller, you can find it on Amazon. One of the things that I was kind of reticent, is that the word? Certainly resistant to claiming this, because it felt like it was never going to happen. And I felt like I was never going to, just so you know, I'm sure a lot of you have watched my live streams before, but if you haven't, let me know in the comments, are you a regular or are you new to the world of Nolly live streams? Hello and welcome to one and all. I tell you this because my intention is, and my hope is, that if you see yourself in any parts of this story, you will take from it some hope. You will take from it a reminder that you are the creator of your reality. You will take from it that no matter how many times you feel like you've failed, stumbled, fallen flat on your face and smashed all your teeth in trying, you can still get up and carry on going and not just hit the goal that you want, but become the person who naturally embodies those qualities that you've been trying so hard for such a long time to kind of motivate yourself to, like the steps that you've been trying to motivate yourself to do, or the person that you feel you have to become. Suddenly you're just them. And it feels almost like, oh, it happened overnight, but it didn't. It took work and it took persistence and dedication and motivation and getting up every fucking day and choosing it again and again and again until suddenly it was just who you are. So whatever it is, whatever area of your life you're currently growing in right now, as you listen to the story that I'm about to tell you and the journey that I'm about to share with you, just see the parts of it that resonate and start to allow yourself to breathe into the softness of the expansion that it brings when you allow yourself to feel seen and understood and to feel like not so fucking alone on the journey. So I'd love to know in the comments as well, and I will come back and check them once I'm like finished the verbal flowage. Tell me what it is, like what area of your life at the moment do you feel like you just keep coming up against a brick wall, but you know that you want to smash through that wall, and sometimes you just get a bit disheartened, right? So anyway, for me, the thing was the body stuff. And I remember standing in that circle in Bali at that retreat and just being like, yes, I want to make the money. Yes, I want my business to be successful. Yes, I want to write a book. All these things that, you know, have happened for me since that day. Just let that sink in. Yum. And also, one of the other things that felt so scary for me to admit out loud, to claim, because I felt like I tried every diet, I'd done Weight Watchers, I'd just done everything, and it felt like a constant uphill struggle. It felt like I was always going to be the fat kid. I was always going to be, you know, even though like I never really was the fat kid, do you know what I mean? It was just like a story that I was telling myself in my head. It was something that I just decided about myself. Someone who never, like, it was always a struggle for me to exercise. It was a struggle for me to like have any consistency with it. I used to like make myself go to the gym. I used to make myself do exercise because I was like, I know that this is going to get me to the goal that I want. But the fact is, it was so hard. It was so hard to get myself to go. You know, like I'd pay a personal trainer and I'd show up to the gym once a week, maybe twice. And then I'd be like, not getting the results I wanted because I wasn't really fully committed, because I was showing up twice a week. And in between that, I was not showing up for that part of myself. I was not showing up for the identity of like the athlete or the person who takes care of themselves or loves themselves. And I wasn't, you know, what you do some of the time is going to give you inconsistent results, and it's going to make you feel like you are fucking pushing shit up a hill, right? Like Sisyphus vibes. Is it Sisyphus? You can tell me, Jed, I'm sure. You're an intelligent man. Tell me. Sisyphus, is that right? And it can be really fucking disheartening. When we realize that it's really about how we reframe consistency, for a start, what is consistent for us, what feels like consistency for us. And once you start to become the person, so this is like old school NLP shit right here. Be, do, have, right? We've got it back to front a lot of the time. We think if we have the designer handbag, that means that, okay, if I want the designer handbag, then that means that I have to do this in order to have it. And in order to do that, that must mean that I am this person. Okay, well, that's fine. But when you start from the inside out, when you start from who is that person? So for me, with my body journey, it actually started with doing what's called a manifestation clear on the athlete. And it was really confronting for me to do that. I just remember thinking like, I don't know that I ever want to be an athlete. And my resistance, so pay attention, right? Because I had resistance to becoming the person that I wanted to be. So don't give me any bullshit about, no, I definitely want to be that person and I don't know why they am. If you're not that person, if you're not showing up for that part of yourself, you have resistance. Just fucking own it. Stop making it mean that you're failing or I shouldn't have resistance or whatever. Like, let go of the story. Sorry, snotty nose. And remember that everyone has resistance to shit and it's okay and it's a part of the journey, and fucking breathe. So once you start to realize there is secondary gain, there is a reason for keeping the problem. So for me, there was my resistance to owning the identity of the athlete was that in my mind, I had this perception that in order to identify as an athlete, I had to train really fucking hard all the time, restrict everything that I ate, take a fuck ton of supplements, only like that I was gonna lose my boobs, not have a bum anymore, that I would have a certain type of body shape that I probably wouldn't necessarily suit or like. But for some reason, I had it in my head that all of these things came along with the identity of being an athlete, of being athletic, of taking care of myself and my body and giving a shit about that. You know? So if you are watching this is a fucking masterclass at this point. If you are watching this and there's something that you're wanting to embody, there's an identity that you're wanting to step into, whether that's like boss bitch or the athlete or, you know, I don't even fucking know what it might be for you, but feel free to drop it in the comments. If something like pings straight away and you're like, oh my God, this is who I want to become. This is the identity. Is it like, I want to be the CEO? I want to be, I don't know. I want to be, for a lot of people, it's like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a businesswoman. Sometimes people are running fucking businesses full time and they still don't see themselves as a businesswoman. And there was something as well for me. I remember in fact, it was the first year that I hit six figures, about 3 years ago, I think. I did a lot of work around going from being the little girl and being like the baby of the family to being a woman, to claiming that I'm a woman, I'm an adult. Yeah? Because again, who wants to be an adult? Like responsibility, taxes, admin, money. It doesn't feel good. But then remember when you were a little kid and you looked at adults, what did you see? Freedom, making your own decisions, doing whatever the fuck you wanted, like able to drive. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what we tend to do is we kind of like mind fuck ourselves, because at one point we really wanted to be an adult. We really wanted to be a grown up. At one point you really wanted to be a businesswoman or whatever it is that you are now. And yet you're holding yourself back because you've started to look at only the negatives, like the negative side of the coin, even though positive, negative is all subjective. But let's not get into that right now. Duality, bitches. It is what it is. So there's always going to be pros and cons. There's always going to be light and shade. That's just life. If you're only ever chasing the light, if you're only ever chasing the win, and anything other than that makes you feel like you failed or knocks you out of your alignment and out of your like inner power, your personal power, then that's the work for you. It's about reminding yourself that in order to grow in this direction, it means that you probably will notice other things in the opposite direction. And the greater the pull will be, the greater the extremes will be. So you can only ride this if you're capable of holding this and not letting whatever's going on here fucking collapse you or mean more about you and your capabilities and your ability to become the person and receive the fucking results that you want than this does. You have to strengthen this muscle here. You have to strengthen your self-belief, your confidence, your ability to ride the waves of the low ebb and still fucking believe and still have hope. There is a distinct lack of hope in the world right now. Have you noticed? Don't let yourself be a fucking victim and fall into the pattern of giving up on feeling hopeful. Hope is essentially committing to feeling like in positive faith around receiving the thing that you want. Hope is going, fuck, this can happen. Hope is the feeling that you have when you make that decision and you're like, yes, I'm going to commit to this. Oh my God, yes, that's what I want. Desire, feels good. Let's go. Yeah. You've got hope then. And then you let all of the other bullshit, you let all of the stories of the mind, all of the times that you tried something and it didn't work out how you thought. Notice I didn't say it failed. It didn't work out how you thought, or how you planned, or how you thought it should turn out. So what? What happened in the past has absolutely fuck all impact on how it's going to work out in the future, because you're different now. You know? You're different now. So when you claim who you are today, it's impossible for you to repeat the mistakes of the past. It's only if you're still like paying homage to a fucking past version of yourself, like trying to resurrect them, like I said in a live stream the other day with a fucking defibrillator, like cocoon, you know, trying to bring back a past self because you're too scared to walk forward in life as the person you are now because you've never done that before. What's better though? What is better, to recreate the bullshit that you recreated in your past? And I'm not saying that your past is all bullshit, but I'm saying that if you are holding on to past, you know, quote unquote failures, or things where things didn't go quite so well, or maybe you tripped up and you experienced some kind of trauma or a trigger, or something went, you know, wrong, if you will, then if you keep holding on to that and letting that, like picking up that blueprint and laying it out over your future, then of course you're going to keep making the same mistakes. Of course you're going to keep slamming your head into the same brick wall. But when you anchor into now, who am I today? Who am I now? And really let yourself be in your body, in your belly, in your heart, and feel the person that you have become, there is no doubt that you will achieve and receive the things that you want. Period. Like, that is it. Truth. And what came to me today, I feel like that message was probably the message that really needed to come through today. So there we go. The thing that actually came through, and it builds on this idea of, like, you know, hope and trusting the journey and just having faith and deciding over and over again, choosing over and over again. What I wrote today, like immediately after my run, was the one big shift that took me from battling with my weight and fitness to loving training, and how to apply this to your business. And what I put was, everything you're doing is compounding. And I put here is that the great thing about training is that you see progression, you follow the steps and you see results, right? And because we've seen many people over time compound their own results, we have belief and we have faith because we've seen it done. So we're like, oh, that must work then. That must work. So I'll keep doing that. And then what I wrote next, it's just a little bit, but I want to read it because it kind of came out so like streamlined. With entrepreneurship, it just feels different, but it's not. It's just that you're tapping out. You're kind of going, oh, well, I posted some content for a few days and nothing happened. Or, you know, I upped my game with content. I upped my game. I put my prices up. No one bought from me, blah, blah, blah. All these stories. It's like going to the gym once, doing 10 sit-ups and then going, well, I did some sit-ups and I haven't got abs yet. So obviously that just isn't going to work for me. All right, so it works for everyone else, but it's not going to work for you. No. Incorrect. When you keep showing up, and this is not, I'm not going to feed into the like, I have to do more in order to have more bullshit old school paradigm. That's not what I'm saying. But it's the same as the athlete identity. It's like, in my mind, I was thinking, shit, if I want to have these results with my body, my fitness, my health, then that means I'm going to need to exercise more. I'm going to need to hydrate more. I'm going to have to think more about what I'm eating. I might have to be in a slight calorie deficit every now and then if I want to create a certain shape in my body. And I had all these stories about how hard all those things were going to be. The difference is, now that I've done all of that clearing work and I've taken the steps and I've seen the results, I'm like, I want to take the steps. I want to get up at 5:30 this morning and go for a fucking 3-mile interval run. Like, excuse me, burping, energy shifting, integrating, you're welcome. But I want to do those things now. And that is the difference. So you may think that oh, but if I want to make more money in my business, I want to reach a different caliber of clients, I want to start doing things differently. Oh, but, I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I don't know how. It's so many energy leaks just from the stories of your mind, like sucking the energy out of your fucking system. When if you just said to yourself, this is what I want. Great. How does it feel in my body if I fully knew, trusted, and believed that whenever I hit go live, some gold's going to fall out of my face? If I fully knew, trusted, and believed that my soul aligned, fuck yes, pay me in full, let's go champ clients are watching me and just waiting for me to be ready, waiting for that activation, how would I show up in my business today? What if I chose that it is all fucking working and that I'm already winning, that I'm a winner, that I am successful, that I am a fucking multiple 6-figure, 7-figure business owner, whatever it is you want to be? If you fully knew, trusted, and believed that if you did certain things and showed up in an aligned way in your business, that you were going to receive the results you wanted, how would you show up today? What would you do? Maybe that would be actually, I would take a fucking day off. You know? Because that's been the case for me sometimes. I'm like, dude, when I get in my head and I'm like, I should be doing something, what can I do? What can I do? But I've posted content and this, and I get all up in my head about it. When I really drop in, and I use this all the time. If I fully knew, trusted, and believed that my success is inevitable, that I'm going to hit the income goals that I have for myself, that I am going to receive the clients that are a full body fuck yes, not just for me, but for them, and we are going to make fucking magic happen in their worlds together. If I knew all of that to be true, and I fully knew and trusted it, actually, I just have a day off, right? So it's not always that you're going to be inspired to do more. Sometimes you're going to be inspired to go and do something else. But you won't know until you give yourself permission to live into the trust that what you've been asking for is already done, that you are already on the path. And the only thing that is going to slow you down is if you keep questioning and diverting yourself off the path. Sometimes the path feels like you're diverting, don't get me wrong, but you know that you're still on the path because you feel the alignment in your body. And particularly as a manifesting generator, my path is not linear. It is not. I bounce all over the fucking place. And the more that I lean into that and the more I forgive myself for not being forgive myself. I don't even want to say that's disgusting. I retract that word. There is no forgiveness fucking required because I'm a legend. It's already done. I keep forgetting that. Exactly, Mandy. But it's really, the only work is really reconciling that your path is going to look different to other people, but you're the only person who needs to get it. You're the only person who needs to get it. I don't need to understand it. I mean, the irony of that being that when people come to me and they're like, oh, but now I feel like I should be doing this. I'm like, cool, go for it. Because on some deep cellular level, I do understand. Because I'm like you. I'm just a mirror, right? So the other thing that I just wanted to remind you, and I think, Mandy, if that is the thing that you are if that's the thing you get stuck with, then this is really going to help. So the other thing that I put here is, you don't just sit on the couch in between workouts and think, oh shit, I'm not exercising, I'm going to get fat and lose all my stamina. You just do the workout and then you get on with your day, knowing and trusting that it's enough, it's done, and it's compounding. And you can do this in business too. You can do it in any area of your life. You don't, staying tapped into the energy or tuned into the frequency of your desires and what you have created and what you are on the path to currently receiving doesn't mean that you have to constantly be thinking about it, staring at it. You don't have to be holding on, clutching at it. You just get to relax. So for me, maybe in my business, that's cool. Well, I know that generally if I wake up and I do a little bit of journaling or a little bit of mindset work, that tends to help. You know, that tends to help set me up right for the day. And then it usually inspires me to create something, whether it's just a one-liner, share a photo. Sometimes it's like create 4 or 5 reels like I did yesterday. It's like bam, 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 bam. Sometimes it's like today, show up, do a live stream. I never know what it's going to look like, but usually I will create some kind of content most days. Most days. Sometimes it's just on my Insta stories. Sometimes it's just one thing on my Insta stories. And occasionally, I mean, to be fair, it's quite fucking rare for me these days because I'm just, again, I'm very much in the embodiment of being someone who shows up and shares consistently. It's not work for me. I don't feel like I have to like fire myself up to show up every day. It's just fun for me. But sometimes that really just looks like showing up on my stories and saying something, dropping some fucking wisdom. So, by the way, if you don't have me on like see first or have your notifications on or whatever, like get used to watching my stories, because often I drop fucking gold on there in like 3 or 4 slides, and those 3 or 4 slides can be the thing that you need to activate you for the rest of the fucking day, the week, catalyze you into your next step. I don't fuck around. You know, if I've got something to say, I don't go, oh, I've got something to say, let me charge you for a masterclass. Like very often, I would just let it out. Then if people want to come and work with me talking about powerful shit for free isn't going to stop the people that want to pay me to work with me. I have no scarcity around content because I always have something good to say. And I know this. And the people who come and work with me build this level of consistency. They build this level of falling in love with creating content. They fall in love with running their business. Because if you don't fucking love it, it is very difficult to show up for it. Much like training. If I don't love taking care of my body and running and like punching shit real hard, then it's very difficult to motivate yourself to do shit that you don't love. And one of my clients in the content incubator actually said to me, when we first started, she was like, yeah, if I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to do it. And that's one of the reasons why I work with you, because I've heard you say that so many times that I know you're not going to make me do anything I don't want to do. And I'm like, fully, you know, you want to show up in your business, you want to promote yourself, you want to get more confident, great. But you don't want to do it in this way, fine, let's find a way that works for you. Like, I'm not the fucking content police. I don't give a shit how you show up. I just give a shit that you do show up and that you start talking about the stuff that is important to you, and that, you know, you actually really fall in love with running the business that you're in. If you don't love it, you're not going to want to show up for it. It's as simple as that. So that's really fun for me, helping people just like fall back in love with their business. Because trust me, it's very easy to fall out of it when you're in that place of this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working. And when we look at this idea of, and this is my final piece for today, when we look at this idea of in between workouts, I don't sit on the couch and stare at my like stomach and like, where are my abs? I go, I do the training, I see the results over time, and in between I'm living my life. Okay? Same with business. I show up, I share content, I have offerings. If I have something I'm currently like actively launching, like I've always got things that people can buy. I have a Kajabi store in my link tree with a fuck ton of self-study stuff. So if you're interested in that, go take a look after this live stream. Just click on my profile, click on the link tree, go to the self-study shop, and there is so much cool shit in there, right? Stuff from like £11 for a journaling ebook. There's meditation bundles. There's full on like 30-day money programs that are like completely fucking life-changing. There is so much cool shit in there. And I know people who want to work with me will ask, you know, they'll find it themselves because they're in their power and they know how to fucking use Instagram and how to find shit. Or they'll just message me and ask. I'd love to work with you. Like, people in their power will find a fucking way to tell me that they want to work with me. And if I'm actively launching something, then I will be sharing that every day, right? Every day. If I'm in a launch period around a group offering or something like that, generally my one-to-one stuff is done. People just reach out via DMs. Don't really market it a lot. But in terms of like when I'm actually launching a program, I will share it, and then I don't spend the rest of the day being like, I hope someone signs up. What if no one signs up? Oh my God, what if no one signs up? I just, and if I ever have those thoughts, I keep them in check and I remind myself that it's already done. So it's the same as going to the gym. You show up, you do the aligned thing that you know to do, and then go and live your life. Take the pressure off. Don't opt out and tap out and not do the things that you know are going to move you forward. I'm not about that life. I'm very much about, yes, there's always an action you can take. But when you get into that pushing place or doing things because you think you have to, that is not alignment. That is old paradigm, got to do more in order to have more bullshit. So feel in to what your next level is for you. Feel into the person you're becoming. Remember who you are right now and drop into your body and ask yourself, what is the next aligned step? And then go and do that thing. And if that thing is reaching into my DMs and coming and working with me, you know where I am. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have received many, many, many juicy nuggets and feel fired the fuck up to go and do some cool shit. If this has inspired you, I'd love for you to share it and tag me so that I know you've shared it and I can go, whoop, whoop, thank you. I love you. Bye.